Happy Monday, everyone. Time for another live commentary. Yes, it has been a very long time, and yes, I've been very busy, but that has kind of a plus and a minus. On the minus side, I have not been able to get any videos out of live commentaries, but on the plus side, that means I haven't really been able to watch any of the bouts from the World Championships. And that means that there's a huge pool of bouts I can pull from to do the live commentaries starting now. So here we have the most requested bout from my website, actually. This is Race Imboden on the left and Giorgio Avola on the right. Two people I've talked about a bit before, so these should be familiar faces. 3, 2, 1, and playing it. Alright, would not be a live commentary without me adjusting the audio to start. It's actually, this video is very loud. Okay, that should be good. Alright, and here we have Race and Giorgio. Race obviously American, Giorgio Italian. Race is left-handed, Giorgio is right-handed. I believe at the time Race was very highly ranked in the world. He might have been rank 1 at the time. Don't want to spoil anything, but that was not the case immediately after this tournament. Race coming out with a slow march. Avola does not want to take it over too quickly. Oh, breaks inside the distance. Probably parried post left off target, and yes it is. Very quick acceleration there from Avola. Race ready with the parried post. Let's see what the call is. It's just attack right, I think. Should be, yep. Nice start. Let's see. This doesn't feel like a terribly aggressive opening for either of these two. Race with the march. Still pretty big with the blade. Also, there might be some background noise, so I apologize if any of it bleeds through. I'm trying to do some noise reduction. Wow, lots of struggling with the blades there. Giorgio sticking in preem for a bit. Gets away, though. Breaks inside the distance again. I believe that was a continuous attack from Avola. And the referee agrees with me. Race, I think, was trying to argue that it was attack no, and his attack off target, but it was not the case. That was a slowdown from Avola, but it was still sort of continuous. Long lunge from Race. Tries to stick it out and go for maybe the remise or the counter post. Hits off target, though. Again, very slow, and there's the acceleration. Avola has this interesting tendency. He actually goes for... if he starts super slow, he often accelerates maybe a little bit too much, I would say, into either a flesh or a running attack. It can lead to some trouble if he runs into a counterattack or someone who's very good at counterattacking. Race is maybe not one of those people you'd think right off the bat. He is capable of certainly able to counterattack decently. I'm not sure if I'd put him up there with the best of them like Yopik, but his parry post is also very dangerous. My guess is he'll be relying on that against Avola's sharp acceleration, as we see here. Bit of a march. This kind of jumping half advance type thing is pretty common for Race. It's an interesting way of trying to break up his opponent's timing for the counterattack. In general, varied tempo makes it harder to counterattack, and Race does this little skip. It feels the same purpose. Probably attack left off target. Alright, let's see. 3-0 for Avola. Accelerates again. This time Race finds the parry post. Very nice. And very quick, too. Avola's got quick feet, but Race has a quick hand. What's wrong? Oh, shoe is untied. That could potentially be disastrous, so definitely want to tie that. So, as I said, it looks like Race's parry post is going to be his primary means of defending against Avola's very quick acceleration. So far, Avola's been able to get inside Race's distance more often than not, though, so I think Race has got to focus a little bit on his footwork to keep the distance good. Finishes long, Avola gets away and starts marching. Again, it's still continuous. Not a very sincere finish from either of those two. Avola offers the blade. Looking for parry post, gets away though. Race finishes off target again. Looks like a trade of information right now, actually. Neither of these two want to finish too aggressively. Oh, wow! Huh. I think Race actually found the blade as he was stepping in as well. And then came all the way around to finish in preem. I think he took the blade in 8 or 2. That was nice. Race's close distance work is quite good. He's got very solid technique. Again, these long finishes aren't really cutting it against Avola, even though Avola's not doing that much to pull distance. That should be his finish. Yeah, there was a blade contact there, but it seemed more incidental than anything else. Definitely not Race's parry. Again, it looks like Race just hasn't been able to escape very well against that finish. The one parry post they got that was nice was actually him standing still, so... Again, long finish isn't enough to catch Avola. I don't think he was really trying to. Another long lunge. That one was a little more dangerous. There's another... But again, Race is stepping forward with his parry post, and he's catching Avola at the start of the acceleration. That's pretty critical. If Avola gets going, I think it's going to be pretty much impossible for Race to escape if he keeps doing this. So he's got to make sure it's right at the start of the attack. Again, attacking with lots of beats. Pulls back as he steps in. Finds an off-target. Not the best. If you go super withheld like that, it's very hard to find the target if the distance collapses that fast. Avola again with the march. Race takes the blade and takes it over. Chosen 4. Switches over to the flank at the very end, but again just finds an off-target. Kind of unlucky. This time Avola I don't think was respecting the distance as much as he could have. Before, Race's long finishes weren't enough to catch him, but that time it was. He just missed. More marching from Avola. Race again, taking the blade, doing his usual thing. That time was a little dangerous with the distance. It got pretty close before Race was finishing. Avola may have been able to counterattack into that. Again, parry post is Race's first option against Avola's long attack, and there it is again. He's not been able to convert that into a touch just yet. We'll see. Avola does have a lot of options to deal with it, and going with held like that is one of them. I think Race was actually looking for the blade as he stepped in again. I think he may have turned it into a counterattack when he realized the game was up, but at that point Avola was pretty much already hitting. So, very nice. If Race had been counterattacking from the outset, his blade definitely would have been farther ahead of him. Again, broken time march from Avola. Period's running down quite quickly. Race might... Oh! How did he miss that? I guess the closeout from Avola was too strong. That's pretty unfortunate so close to the end of the period. 16 seconds on the clock, and Avola's up 6-3, so certainly not an insurmountable lead, but that touch maybe could have been avoided by Race if he'd been a little less quick going forward. And that is very nice from Race. First time his long lunge really does great work for him, but it certainly is great work. Avola was not able to escape, and I don't think he could have even if he tried his hardest. Avola goes for the rushing, kind of, I don't know, it almost felt like a Hail Mary, just straight counterattack right into Race. Just puts his arm ahead and goes for a flesh. And Race gets another easy finish of his attack. And it's 5-6 now, so first a little sloppy from Race, letting Avola get a counterattack, and then maybe a little sloppy from Avola as well, letting Race get 2 right before the period ends. Now, one thing we haven't seen much of is Race's... sorry if you can hear the noise in the background, by the way. Race is pretty good at finishing his attack at a pretty close distance. That's kind of a hallmark of most of the American fencers these days, except maybe Garrick. Lags behind a bit in that department. We haven't seen Avola actually go for that many close-distance counterattacks, except for that last one right there. There's Sergei Golubitsky giving Race some advice. Sergei, of course, a legendary foilist in his own right. Deserves a little shout-out here. But I think if Avola switches gears and goes for this aggressive sort of counterattacking thing, I think Race is going to have a bit of an upper hand. And also, like, his parry post is still quite good. Avola hasn't really shown that many good offensive options to deal with it, aside from just being too fast for Race to handle. And I think if Race just corrects his footwork a little bit, he's going to be in good shape there. So we'll see if Avola's going to make any major adjustments. I feel like the tactical situation is slowly shifting in favor of Race right now, though. We shall see. More marching from Race. Avola keeping the distance pretty wide. It collapses. First parry post is no from Avola. I agree with that. It was a bit of a pause from both, actually. Race went for the remise, though, and the remise of their post comes after. Race offering a test, I guess. Don't know what that was for. I'm pretty sure he was short on his first one. Long attack off the line from Race. You rarely see that, actually, from Race. A little bit of a cheeky move there. Sadly, it was off target. But that sort of thing can definitely surprise your opponent. Especially if you're not want to do it normally. Again, that long finish from Race, though, and this time Avola's parry post is perfect for this situation. I mentioned before, Avola's been able to escape from Race's long finish without much difficulty, and we see here he can do that and then land the parry post afterwards. I'm interested to oopsies. Again, Race's parry post is very quick, nearly finds it, finishes off target here. Avola opting for the ducking counterattack. Now, Race is quite good at finishing in close, and Avola's being pretty brave, I think, trying to go for such a squirmy thing. Although we saw before that Race has been having a few accuracy problems hitting off target where he maybe could have found the target, so perhaps he's leveraging that in his favor. Again, accelerates a bit. Race's parry post is very quick, but Avola's not committing enough for it to really be threatening. Wow, stop it running away. Race wasn't ready to finish. He was actually searching right at that moment. So that was great timing by Avola. Let's see, who wants the attack? Looks like it's Race, but again, his arm is a bit too withheld. And this time Avola gets the counterattack. So, I might swallow my words here. Race normally is quite good at finishing in close, but that may not be the case today. At least not against Avola. Let's see. Again, Avola goes for the pretty immediate acceleration, but it's very withheld. And as I said before, it's quite hard to find the target at that speed if the distance is collapsing the way it is. So this could certainly work for Avola, and of note, it's great against a parry post, because Race would never find the blade in that situation. Or it'd be very hard for him to. But the accuracy is just not quite there, I guess. Again, Race's parry is enough to keep him safe, but Avola's not committing enough to make the riposte really dangerous. Race has to follow him out with a march. Finds a way through this time. Kind of in preem. I recently finished the Toldo vs. Grazia bout from Rio. Toldo was a fan of finishing like that as well. It's pretty common for lefties, in fact. Again, Race starting a pretty big steps here with his march, and finishes off target. Again, Georgia goes for that counterattack. That time maybe was a bit late. Race's steps are big, which kind of invites it, but he was already in finishing mode by the time Avola came out. Okay, this spells a pretty dangerous situation for Race. Avola was able to completely close out Race's finish there, even in what should have been the correct line. Race was finishing in preem, and Avola's closeout came in 4, but it was slightly late. Avola just found an off target though. This time Race finds a way through to the flank, I think? Wait. Oh. Referee says parry from the right. Race may be asking for a video here. I'm not sure who I agree with, actually. My first inclination would be to say it was Race, but I couldn't hear a parry. Perhaps the referee had a better vantage point. As usual with these live commentaries, I don't really have access to the slow motion. I would love to. But we'll see what the referee's decision is going to be. Okay. Referee's clearly saying there were 2 blade contacts. The first one was Avola's, the second one was Race's. Goes to the maybe beat, maybe counter post, depending on how you want to call it. Race comes out, again, very long steps, and finishes long. This time, Avola's not getting away fast enough, and he tries the parry post, but this time the distance is too close. Race finds a way through with his attack. 9-9 in the second period. Again, more marching from Race. I think he's going to try and press this advantage again. Again, comes out with a lightning quick close finish, but he's off target again. I'm not liking this close finish as much as I usually do from Race, I must say. 2 attacks off the lines, and it's Race's off target. Avola starts to march. Race tries to disrupt it, I guess. He's probably going to look for that parry post again. Nope, he just takes it over. More long finish. Oh, again. Avola's not trying to run away as much as he was before. That's going to make his parry post a lot harder to land. Which leads me to believe, in fact... Oof. Parry by Avola, counter parry by Race. Or parry counter post, if you want to use the super modern definitions that the FIE is pushing. Again, that lightning quick hand speed from Race does wonders. And that lightning quick counterattack from Avola does too. Race is usually better at finishing in this situation. So, clearly he's not now. He might have to readjust his game to compensate for this. Meantime, Avola marches. Race goes for the counterattack, stepping in. The remise of Avola happens. The question is, was it after the core? Referee says no. That's going to be one for Avola. That is a nice touch. Normally, Race's hand speed is enough to keep him safe in that situation. Not so now. Again, it feels like the distance was... I don't know, because Race normally doesn't shy away from the close distance situations like this. And this is probably a tactical move by Avola, actually. Trying to take a little break here. Maybe his hand's cramping. But this kind of smells like you just got a pretty nice touch against something that your opponent's normally pretty good at. You want it to sink in, so you take a little break now. Or maybe I'm just reading too much into this situation. But that sort of tactical pause is quite common at this level of fencing. In the meantime, it sounds like Sergei's trying to give Race some extra strip coaching. Alright, Avola's coming back. Let's go. 11-10, 1 minute 14 in the second period. This bout could end in a heartbeat. Actually, it might. Race goes a little bit too fast, and Avola's able to step in again with the counterattack. Somehow mitigate Race's point control at that distance. I think Race has got to just slow down his attacks a bit, honestly. Withheld attack from Avola. Race goes for, I believe, a counterattack again. Didn't look like he was trying to search. Honestly, parry post doesn't really work against that, so it's not like he has many options, but Race's counterattack has not really been a factor at all this bout. Attack with lots of beats by Avola. Gives it up, though. Race starts marching. Again, searching a lot. Avola keeps the distance wide. Now he steps in. Wow. Race has got to be kicking himself for that one, though. Avola timed to step in perfectly, to be fair, and it doesn't happen every day, but again, Race should have been able to find the target on the way in there, and then he probably should have been able to find the counter post if he was in his peak form. It's probably going to be attack left off target. Yeah, Race was continuous there. Avola is going to ask for a video. I'm not sure if there were blade contacts. If there were, that might complicate the situation somewhat, but I would probably give this left. Yep. Call stands. Attack left off target. Here we go again. Attack off the line. Both step forward. I'd probably give this Avola's attack even if there were two lights, though. He was going straight for the target. And 14-10, just like that. Yeah, this bout could be over very soon. Race is kind of struggling now as well. Avola's got all the momentum in the world. Race is probably... Sorry for that background noise. Race is probably going to just play for time at this point, I would imagine. Of course, playing for time for different fencers means different things. Race can still be very aggressive. Again, relying on his hand speed to keep him alive, more so than his feet. It's a little risky, especially if Avola goes for that withheld attack again. Lots of beats from Avola. Ends his attack nice and quick. Race, though, not really willing to follow up on the distance, though. Again, Avola just gives it up. Time is running down. Race has just got to make it to the next period. Oh, wow, Avola takes the blade hard, stepping in. Very big with his arm. I think Race might have been able to find a way through that. Maybe? Again, it's mostly a question of the distance just being a bit close, which normally Race is fine with. More beats from Race coming forward. His long finish has been good before, but Avola's been able to counterattack into it, actually. There it is. Finds the blade stepping in. Avola wasn't ready to step back just yet. I think he was being a little cocky. And Race does make him pay for it. So that's 1. Still down 3 touches. Avola just needs 1 to win. 13 seconds. Pushing it now would be quite risky for both, actually. I would probably just back off, though. Race is still pushing. 3. And they're going to give it up. Okay. That last few seconds was tense. Alright. So, let's see if Sergei Golubitsky can work his coaching magic and pull Race out of this situation. And let's see if Avola can keep leveraging whatever he's been leveraging. Honestly, it seems like it's mostly his footwork that's doing this. And maybe some clever body or blade positioning. His counterattacks have been very successful, even despite Race's usual success in situations like that. So, it's interesting. I've got to feel like Race might be a little bit off his game now. He might have tilted a little bit when Giorgio started to pull ahead. Although it looks like if he can keep playing this game that he's been playing and just kind of be a little bit more relaxed, a little more casual, maybe a little wider distance, this might help a bit. Avola just needs 1 really cheeky touch, though. He has a very deep bag of tricks. He might do anything. He might just go straight for that like flush of his off the line. He might assume Race is going to go for an attack off the line and just parry post immediately. He has quite a bit of score room to play with. Well, 3 points isn't a huge amount, but he can afford to look for tricks, as opposed to Race, who has to be pretty sure that he's going to get the touch before he commits. It just takes 1 mistake. So let's see what it's going to be. Race attacks. Avola gives him space. Race steps in. Okay, Race saying that Avola was covering target with his non-dominant arm. We're going to go to the video. Again, I wish I could see it. I'm not sure I believe that, though, from what I remember. Nope. No card. We resume. There's that finish from Avola, but Race finds the parry post stepping away. Or is it the parry post? Actually, Avola may have turned a light on before the parry. I don't know what they're looking for. It's probably that, but I'm not sure. Okay, yeah. I guess it's attack right off target. The parry was late. Interesting, despite Race actually stepping back and being at pretty much the right place with his feet there, still not able to convert that parry post to a touch. Ooh, Race steps in, there's contact. Can't really call that core to avoid a touch. It looked pretty unavoidable. Getting more back and forth. Race jogging a little bit. Makes up the distance. Finishes short. It's off target though. Ducking from Avola is again enough to just barely avoid Race's tip. This counterattack by Avola has been really devastating this bout. Again, Race finishes long. Somehow though does not find the target. And Avola's kind of random counterattack that he just did, probably because he was running out of space, actually works. And that's going to be the bout. Wow. Definitely impressive showing by Avola. I'm surprised that his counterattacks were as effective as they were, and that Race's short finishes weren't better, but I'm not at all surprised that once Avola realized that that was the case, he was able to push it really hard and convert that into a win. I mean, these guys, if you show them one point of weakness, they'll just hammer that home until it stops being a point of weakness, or until they win. So, perhaps Race was not at his best form, but great showing by Avola. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. That's going to be the end of this bout. And I will see you next week. And I'm, of course, continuing to work on the Rio bouts, but those will take probably a bit longer than they have been, aside from this last long break, just because I'm so busy, mostly. Alright, see you next time. Thanks for watching, and as always, stay sharp.